All right, hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. I wanted to take some time to explain a few things, very quick things. One, how I got into photography. Two, a little bit about me. And three, yet to be determined. It'll be a little surprise. I have notes kind of for the about me section, but how I got into photography, people ask me that all the time, so we're just gonna freeball it and see what happens because I'm a one-take pony, as many people know, and maybe I should cut myself a little bit more. Maybe I should kind of edit my speech a bit, but as the unfiltered person that I tend to be, it's just going to come out. So here we go. Okay, so how I got into photography is I was on a mission trip with my church. My leader had this camera and I thought, oh my gosh, can I use your camera? He said yes. And I said, cool. And I pick it up, take a picture, and I just loved the click. I loved the click so much. It felt so good in my hands. The screen looked so much better than my iPod Touch that I had, and I was hooked instantly. So I went back home and I bought my own camera. I think it was a Canon PowerShot 530X. I don't know, something like that. But I wish I'd kept it too. I can't believe I sold it. But from there, I started taking pictures of like nature and sunsets, things that just I love already, right? And this is dipping into the about me section, but I love nature and I love God's creation. I think it's beautiful. I think it's worth capturing, and that beauty that we get to capture is a gift. It's a huge grace to us. But back then I was like, oh wow, like the sunset, this hummingbird, I was loving it. And I think it was around April of 2017 that I had my first portrait shoot with my friend Jackie. Jackie, hey. And I just loved it. There was something about capturing faces, working with people that I was, by no means very good at, but I had this like one shot, and I might include it in the video, I'm not sure. I had this one shot that really stood out to me, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know I could do that. This is really cool. So that kind of started my portrait journey, and then senior year, so this was junior year of high school. This is 2017 for me. And so then senior year of high school, I'm on the yearbook team. Yearbook is really good. I'm using their big fancy cameras. I'm upgraded my own camera. I got a Nikon D3300, which I still have, and I sometimes use actually. I use it for travel or fun projects, but mostly travel because people pay me big money and I have this big camera to use. Yeah, so senior year was really cool. I was doing a lot with yearbook. I was starting to charge for my work. And then in college, I went to Grand Valley State University as a photography major. And so that's how I entered. I actually left with a photography minor instead, and I got my advertising degree, which ended up paying off really well, like teaching all the marketing skills and the social media skills, some of the business stuff that came with that, copywriting. Yeah, that was a good decision. By no means was I like, oh man, I should have stuck with the photo major, which maybe I could have done both, but I still got a photo education in many regards, which is great. Anyhow, when I was in college, I quickly bought my first full-frame camera. I got a Nikon D810, and I shot my first, it was like a wedding reception for my friends Brett and Alice, and they had it on like a boat in Chicago, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna need a full-frame fancy camera, right? I mean, come on, right? It's the first gig. It's my first like actual gig. I want to make sure you can see my hands when I'm using them here. Yeah, so I got that camera and just, as it goes, right, you start to get another gig and another gig and another gig, and you start to increase your gear and you increase what you can do. And from there, it just kept going. So, senior photos started to happen, couple headshots here and there, some really cool portrait sessions, obviously class projects for my photography classes. But all in all, I was just building more and more and realizing like, I really like this. And not only do I really like this, a lot of other people do. My Instagram is pretty tied into this whole thing because I started this Instagram called Micah Pixels. That was the username at first. It's kind of a play on words for megapixels. And so with that Instagram that eventually became Micah Hill Photography when I became a business owner, that Instagram really gave me, I don't want to say it just gave me the validation that I needed, but I think for me personally, I have a hard time being like, yeah, I'm really good at that. Like, I should do this. And so when I saw that there were like a lot of people that were like, dude, this is really good stuff. I love seeing this. Nice job. It kind of gave me the validation I needed to keep going and keep going to that next step, which I largely dislike social media and Instagram, But in that sense, I look back, I'm just realizing as I'm saying this, but as I look back on it, I'm like, oh, that actually helped continue me on this journey to be where I am today. So, yeah, college is closing out. I'm very tired and stressed, and senior year, and I have the choice in front of me of I had a job offer with the campus ministry that I was working for or volunteering for called Campus Ministry, or I had a job offer from Tommy's Express Car Wash. I was going to work in their corporate office, which I accepted, or I could have gone full-time freelance photography. I mean, I could have just said, okay, I'm not going to get a job and do my own thing. I'm very glad that I actually went to Tommy's Express instead of going full-time on my own. Why is that? I needed to learn a lot. I needed to learn a lot about sitting at a desk like this and working for 8 hours straight and being focused. I needed to learn about Microsoft Excel, and I needed to learn about budgeting. And there were so many life skills that working in a corporate job with the corporate security and kind of safety net was invaluable for me. I don't think I could have done freelance photography on my own if I had not first been corporate and kind of had a chance to like dip my toes in the water and build out all the platforms behind the scenes, which is exactly what I did. While I was at Tommy's Express, I had the time to work on my website, work on my back end, upgrade my gear a little bit more, and most importantly, get the experience and the portfolio that I needed to justify the prices that it would take to become a full-time photographer. So I think it was 2021 and 2022 that I really started to get into weddings and I started to take on my own. I was second shooting with my mentor, Nathan English. Nathan, shout out, love you. But he was the one that really empowered me to keep taking steps, and he's an incredible photographer. His work is amazing. I might link it down below, but he really put me in places that allowed me to take my skills to a new level and show that off with amazing days, like just amazing weddings that were just, I mean, a 4-year-old could take amazing photos there, but like as then being an artist and having the chance to really shine there, it gave me some images that were like, wow, I think I could do this like for myself. But all that to say, I'm still working at Tommy's during this time, and I am burned out. I mean, I'm coming home from my 9 to 5, and I'm working another 4 hours, on editing or booking or shooting or whatever it was. I mean, it was a lot. And finally, he offered me, well, not finally, I wasn't like waiting on it, but he offered me an associate position with him, which is essentially like what I viewed as the golden ticket into photography. I mean, having someone well established say, hey, come under my wing. I'm going to teach you so much about what I know, and I'm going to empower you to go out on your own if that's what you want to do. And I accepted it. And I also accepted that with the caveat for myself. Oh, darn, I hit the mic, sorry. I accepted it with the caveat of, okay, this is also going to take a lot of yeses from me. And so I decided I'm going to say yes to everything this year. And that will be kind of how I decide if this is a real thing to pursue. Because I knew that if God wanted to open the door and provide for me and kind of give me that like stability and confidence that I needed to do this, he would. Or if this was a horrible idea and I should stay at Tommy's, he would slam that door. He did not slam the door. He opened up a lot of doors. And so by summer, I was just like, whoa, I am busy. I am stressed. This is tough. And I realized I think I need to take the leap. And I've covered this in that first recap video where I'm wearing the white shirt and it's like a 25-minute, like, why am I doing this? I'm not going to go into that. I might link that here or there. I don't know. I'm not sure how fancy I want to get with linking YouTube videos just yet. But there's more on that in that first channel video that I made. So I won't go over that too much. But essentially, I just needed to try. I needed to find out and try. Turns out that was a really good choice because it worked out. And a year and a half later, I am doing full-time photography. So I'm doing wedding photography, portrait photography, engagement photography, headshot photography. What's this? Family photography. I've been able to do a lot of different things that I never even set out to do. This whole photography thing for me started with portraits and people and nature, and somehow now has given me like these tickets into amazing wedding days or like beautiful surprise engagements or like someone's really cool fancy office that I get to go shoot their company headshots at. And it's so cool because I didn't see it coming. Like this was something that in high school I was like, oh, it'd be cool, but I was so held back by fear. I was so held back by like this, oh, but like I could never do that. Like that's not for me. That's not who I am. Um, and really like when the people around me started to like really say like, dude, we believe in you. We think you can do this. You should give this a try. Um, Boy, I'm grateful I did. Because like it ended up working out, and it's still working out. Like it's right now it's slow. It's January. And so back in the day, in high school and college, I had school. I had things to do, right? Or when I was at Tommy's, I just always had things to do. So now that it's more self-directed, it's just a lot more of the business side, which I didn't sign up for either, but I actually ended up really liking. And so the how this ties back to like this how I got into photography is realizing like there's so much more, there's excellence in a lot of domains that will ensure success in this industry. Like you can't just be good at pushing the buttons. You also need to know how to do marketing. You need to know something about gear. You need to know something about business and sales and just people skills. Goodness, I feel like so much of my business just comes from people skills and then people referring and talking about me. By no means am I. I'm laughing because like I am not the person. Even, like 10 years ago, if you'd said, Micah, your people skills are amazing, I would have laughed in your face. And so that's just God's grace that He's matured me, I think, and given me some semblance of like social capacity. It's just not my thing, and that's okay. I've learned a lot, and I've learned how to serve people well in a variety of ways. I think photography at first for me was about like capturing, and then it molded into like selfishness almost, which it's kind of bad. But like when I was at Tommy's and in college, it was like, ooh, it's the side hustle. I can like make money and stuff. Or like I can, be at these cool weddings and take cool photos. Like it's about my cool photos. But when I went full time, I actually realized like, no, 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 no. Like the way to success and the way to happiness is actually not gonna be it's not going to be like selfishness. It's not going to be me saying like, oh, like I need to get these photos or I'm not going to do this gig, or like it needs to look like this or I'm not going to do this. There's an element to that to portfolio building. But as far as business and people skills, I actually learned it really matters more if the client is happy. Like so much of being a photographer and being what I do now for a job is actually just a customer service manager, like, or customer service representative, because that's what matters. Like what matters is the client walking away and saying like, I got what I wanted and he understood me and he saw me, versus when I was in high school and I was like, ooh, like I'm gonna pick up my light and do some like cool light painting stuff and like take my phone and do this like cool long exposure. I don't do that as much anymore. And there's part of me that makes sure that I still keep that creative element in what I do, and that I still try things and I still experiment, and kind of at the end of a shoot, if it went really well, kind of say like, hey, can we try something a little creative, right? But I realized like, hey, to do this for a living, like it's not about me. Like for a long time it was. For a long time it was about what I can capture and what I can like create and do and like show off. Like a big part of this was post on Instagram, right? Post to the world and make sure that, and everybody's on their phones and they can just be like, oh my gosh, Micah Hill did so well. It's not about that anymore. And so I got into photography, and now it feels like I almost got out of photography, in the sense that the point now is not me. Like it's not, like it's doing my best work, but it's not doing my best work just for my own sake. It's doing my best work for my client's sake. And that's not just me saying that. Like it would really suck if I spent this whole career just doing it for me. And then I got to the end and I realized I pissed off a lot of people, or I didn't, because I feel like when you can work together with those people to like make the images that they want, you're also going to get the images that you want and the images that are like good. Yeah, so that is how I got into photography and kind of where the mindset shifted for me. So that was point 3, like I said, point 3, the philosophical stuff. Now I'm going to share a bit about me. You might be wondering, who is this Micah Hill guy behind the camera? Hi, here I am. I'm going to share a little bit about me. I am based in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I serve the West Michigan market as well as the Chicago suburbs, because that's my hometown, Naperville, Illinois, and that's actually where I picked up photography 10 years ago. Crazy. I've loved it ever since. But I've been full-time now for a year and a half as of recording. I've been able to shoot weddings for, I think it's 5 seasons now. So got a bit under my belt, and I can't wait for the couples that are coming this season. It's going to be so fun. I love Jesus. I believe he's my Lord and Savior and King. He's my source of strength, but he's no reason to hate people. He's no reason to condemn people. He's my reason to love people and serve people and create beauty and capture beauty. So he's really the reason I do what I do in all ways, but also photography. I love fitness. I love people achieving their goals. I love sunsets. I love cappuccinos, local food. Goodness, I love local food. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I'm such a foodie. And I love people. I'm trying to love people better. And I think this job is helping me love people better because it's so service-oriented. Like, I get to take my client's vision and say, okay, how can we bring this to life? How can we really capture you? And it makes a necessity of understanding them. Like, I have to understand you to do it right, which is so cool. So yeah, my style is like documentary with an editorial polish. Like, it's what I would just call good. And not in the sense of like best. I'm saying like good. Like, when I edit a photo, I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks good. I've developed my own presets. I've never bought one. I just kind of said, yeah, like, how am I going to refine this towards what I think really looks cool and really looks good, and that like natural, timeless, true to color, with just a little bit more, like a little bit more contrast, like a little bit more color, just a little pop. Like, if you were going to close your eyes and think about the moment, that's what you would come to your mind. Like, if I closed my eyes and thought, how was my wedding? I would hope that my photos, like the editing sort of looks like that, like in people's mind's eyes. Okay, what else about me? I am happy to do what I do. I'm just so gifted by God to be able to do this thing right now. I never thought that I would be a full-time photographer, and who knows? Maybe the market dries up, maybe people stop inquiring, and it just kind of ends. But the year and a half that I've had has been such a gift, and so I am a person of large gratitude to the opportunities that I've had so far, and the ones that are to come. What else? Fun facts about me. I love pomegranates. I like opening them. I like eating them. They're just so yummy, and it's just kind of a fun time to open them, even though it's very time consuming. I don't know, sue me. I'm a musician, so I help lead worship at my church, Crossroads Bible Church. You are welcome, always welcome. Oh man, I played violin for 8 years. A lot of people don't know that. I love to read. I'm really good at chess. Not like great. I'm not great, but I'm just like, I was good enough in high school to, like, you know, play in the state tournaments, and like, it was a big part of my life, and I just don't share that very much. So here you go. You're getting unfiltered me. That's the other thing, is that I'm not reading from a script. I just want to be genuine to people. I want to have the stutters and slip-ups, and like, I'm not going to cut this together perfectly unless I like really went off the rails on a certain clip. I want you to know me. So I hope you know me now. I hope you know about me, how I got into photography, and a couple philosophical thoughts. And I'm probably not going to retake this. I'm just going to post it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.